Hello friends, Jennifer here. I just wanted to pop on today and talk to you a little bit about how to start leveraging and using your greatest source of potential. I just had a conversation about this with a client this week and I thought, hey, let me jump on and kind of have a one-to-one coaching session with you via YouTube. So when we think about our CliftonStrengths results, we're talking about our talent. And our talent is our greatest source of potential. And I often find three categories of people. There's the first category of people who don't take assessments. They have something in their mind about it or a belief they hold about it that they're just not interested in doing them. Then I have the second grouping of people who take assessments, enjoy even taking them, and find some good information about themselves. But beyond that, it's just that good information that nothing is done with. Then there is the third grouping of people who take the assessment, take ownership over what the assessment is saying about who they are and how they contribute to the world around them, and then say, now what in the world do I do about it? Those are the grouping of people I want to talk to today. And I want to show you the resource that you need to go to in order to start actually being intentional, living an intentional life and saying, I want to tap into my greatest source of potential. I want to steward the resource of my talent and learn how to contribute it to the world around me in a greater capacity. You know, I've heard this saying that goes something like this, that we're born with our potential, but it's actually up to us to live into it. And I could not agree with that more. I think God gives us what we need to fulfill our purpose in life, but these talents that reside inside of us are two things. We have to take ownership over them and be confident in how we contribute to the world around us, whatever sphere of influence we're called to in the work that we're to do. Can we show up in that environment and say, this is who I am, this is how I uniquely contribute to situations, and allow your talents to shine, your strengths to shine in a powerful way. So the very first step in actually beginning to live an intentional life that says, I want to live into my potential, is to begin to set actions around your individual talent themes that will allow you to have that intentional trajectory that wouldn't happen if you weren't living an intentional life. Okay. So what you'll do is go into this Clifton 34 report. If you don't have it, not a big deal. We'll show you how to get access to it below. But you're going to go into your CliftonStrengths 34 report, and under each of your top 10, you operate within your top 5 in your 6 through 10, and they intricately play with one another. They bounce off of each other in a really cool way. But under each of those, you're going to have ideas for action that you can take. So we made it simple for you, right? You're saying, okay, I take ownership in this instance over my learner strength. So underneath there, it gives you several ideas on what you can do next. So for instance, one is find opportunities to expand your knowledge. Take on increasingly difficult topics, courses, or projects. You love the challenge of a steep learning curve, so beware of learning plateaus. Okay, that's one example. So those of you with learner are possibly saying like, ooh, that sounds fun. So now with that one particular action item, what is something intentional that you can put on your calendar to begin doing, or opportunities that you can look for that will allow you to put this learner in action, because it's going to actually motivate you and allow you to contribute those learnings or influence the environment that you're in. So I've seen this in work environments where there's big projects or a new software system's being put in place that's going to affect the whole company, where individuals with learner are actually able to say, oh, I can do this. I can go in and learn this process, and I can also help others come easily into this particular change because I can help them with that. Another example is a person with restorative. An idea for action here is look for roles in which your success depends on your ability to solve problems. You might particularly enjoy medicine, consulting, computer programming, or customer service. Okay, so a restorative person is a problem solver. You might be in a situation right now where you're solving a bunch of problems, but are they the problems that are the highest and best use for you to be solving? And I want to challenge those of you that have a faith angle to ask yourself questions like this. God, you ask the Lord questions like this. God, you've made me a problem solver. What are the types of problems you want me to be solving? What industry are they in? What field is it in? Does it relate to people? Does it relate to business? Does it relate to technology? They're powerful questions that you can ask yourself around these action items that are going to put you in an intentional direction that you would not come up with on your own. So again, this is where the rubber meets the road and you start living a full intentional life. Let me just give you one more example. So let's look at a person with competition. One of the ideas for action here says select tasks, roles, and work environments where you can measure your achievements. You might never be able to discover how good you can be without keeping score. So those of you with competition, think about this idea for action here and what can you specifically do that is measurable? You like measures anyway, but for all of these, there should be a measurable action item that you begin to do, put on your calendar, find somebody to be accountable to, and then begin to track what is happening in your trajectory as you start to live an intentional life and start to leverage your potential. You're starting to say, this is the God-given resource that I have to spend with my life. And I want to figure out how to spend that resource. Look at it like it's money. Your talent is like a resource of money you're spending. And so what your responsibility and what my responsibility is to say, how do we spend our lives? Where do we contribute these talents and strengths in any given situation? So again, if you haven't taken the CliftonStrengths test assessment yet, there's a link below. For those of you that have, go into your CliftonStrengths 34 report. If you have any questions, comment below, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.